Welcome back to Rock and Roll Rugby. And the question I've got to ask is, why do we have to pick between Manie Libbok and Handré Pollard? I've seen a lot of discussions going around this week in the rugby world between, who's the better player between Handré Pollard and Manie Libbok, and who should we be, starting in the quarterfinals, and all these questions. Should it be either or, guys? Does it really matter? Because if we just rewind back before the Manie Libbok days, now we got to remember Pollard kept Manie Libbok out of the Bulls team for quite a while from a starting lineup point of view. But Manie Libbok has found a lot of form, and everyone's like, we support Manie, we support Manie. Why don't you support Handré Pollard as well? This guy's come back from injury. He's back in the mix. Handré Pollard, when he was playing with Elton Yankees, if you remember when Elton Yankees just got onto the scene, he was also poor at his kicking, but his running type, forward, front foot type running game, very similar to Manie Libbok. Manie Libbok's just quite a bit better for me, but similar type of issues that we had with Elton Yankees. And you know what? Handré Pollard took all the pressure off of Elton Yankees. Elton Yankees would come up on a second half, and he would have a lot of pressure taken off of him because the whole weight of the kicking weight of the game doesn't sit on one person alone. And as much as you want to say, yeah, but Faf has been around for Manie, that's again, taking one not great strong kicker and putting another one on. I think if Faf also don't have the pressure, he can put through amazing kicks. But under the pressure, someone like a Pollard's amazing. Now, for this game, they're starting Pollard. I think it's the best thing the Springboks could have ever done. Get him in there. Let's see what he does. And what I just want to say is, a lot of people are like, yeah, but Pollard's not this running type fly-off. He's never been that running type fly-off. Hold on. Let's just think about this. Where he's played for clubs like Leicester Tigers at the moment, they play more of a running style type game. And let me tell you, you go watch the tries that he scored. Go check the highlights since he's played for the Leicester Tigers, and the type of tries that he scores, the type of, runs that he makes, the way he distributes the ball. That guy can, for a fact, play the same type of game as Manie. I don't doubt it. We're taking two guys here and we're trying to compare a guy that's just come onto the scene. He's been really great what he's done with the Boks, but we might be confusing two things here. The Springboks have made a decision to start playing running type rugby only in the last year to two. It took them about a year to actually get it to work. That's just Manie Libbok's timing to be coming in at this point in time, that he looks like the guy now that is, making the backline run. It's not at all the case. It's a coaching decision to decide for Manie Libbok to be, more of a running type fly-off. The thing with Pollard was he was always playing more of kick to the corners, forward pack, pressure, build the pressure, and then sit back, look for the drop kicks, build pressure, kick to the corners. That was the type of style of rugby that the Springboks played. Now, to think that as soon as Handré Pollard's going to come onto the field, that's going to change for the Springboks, I don't think so. The Springboks will keep doing what they're doing, but what we might find is Handré Pollard will mix it up a bit more, because Manie Libbok knows one type of way of playing, and that is forward running type game, where you'd find Pollard will drop back at times, maybe put through a drop kick here and there, where Manie Libbok always plays on the front foot. That's his type of game, that's his style. Where if you think that Pollard can't play a running type game, I think you're very mistaken, guys. We're looking here at a world class, one of the best fly-offs in the world, actually rated for many. Now I've seen some statistics here in world rugby, or in Springbok rugby, he's like, I don't know, 5th or 6th in the most conversions, with Jannie de Beer being 1st and Bram van Straten 3rd. You're taking guys from different eras and trying to compare them. The type of game that Handré Pollard's had to play, he's always had to kick. He's not been able to play on the front foot. He's a very direct runner and a very strong runner. And for him to offset the back line is not going to be difficult when he can start playing more of a running game. If you see what he does with Leicester Tigers, he's definitely going to be able to do this with the Springboks. So he'll slot right in there and be able to start playing a running type game as well. But what I like about that is something that we saw lacking a little bit against Ireland was the decisions to sometimes say we're not going to run it, there's a good opportunity to put it into the corner and force the lineouts, because the Springboks was trying to just kick from all over the field very far out and putting a lot of their kickers really under pressure and making them look poor. Like a Faf getting the long range kicks, it made him look poor, but it was tough kicks, man. It was far out for a guy that doesn't kick all the time. Where a Pollard might think to kick it into the corners and put that pressure back on. He's just more of a senior player in this team with loads and loads of experience. So let's not compare a Manie Libbok to a Handré Pollard. If we go look at these two players, they are actually, very different type players, but it's because of the box, the coaching and the box way of approaching the game before was much more of a different ways. That's why Pollard had to sit deeper. I'm sure he also wants to run the ball, and he's totally capable of doing it, and he's just as good as a defender as Manie. I've made peace with the fact that they won't play them both on the same time on the field. They're going to do with him what they did back in the days between, a Yankees and a Pollard. I think it will now be a Manie Libbok and a Pollard. And it's a good problem to have, guys. If you think about it, on the field, on the day, they can make the decision. If they see it's a quarters and they play Manie first, and Manie struggles for the first half or he's not quite on his game, and they put on a Pollard second half and Pollard plays well, or the other way around, Pollard comes up second half, not a great game, Manie had a good game. They can mix it up. They can easily move Pollard to start and then Manie play second half. But they should be giving both of these players at least a half to play. And I think mentally what that will do to Manie is take the world of stress off his shoulders. Because he'll be like, hold on, you know what? Pollard's still coming up second half. Or, you know what? I don't have as much pressure. Pollard's already put some points on the board. He'll just feel different. And I'm telling you now, there will be no competition between these two. Pollard will actually probably be able to help Manie in many ways to just get him out of his own head, because you can see Manie watching the clock when he kicks. Manie does many things that you can see still. A lot of guys say tees too high. Pollard's going to ask all these questions and they're actually going to straighten those things out, and Manie will go much more positive into this game. And for the least, you'll see Pollard's experience will help Manie a lot. So it's not either or for me. I think both these guys are outstanding fly-offs to have. And the Springboks have got no issues right now in that sense, And let's just go take that island performance and let's say, okay, I believe that the Springbok coaching staff has learned some lessons. Yes, we need a Pollard, he's back. But they've also learned lessons that the Springboks need to mix it up to not just play too much a running style type game. Because yes, it was lovely to see them run at the Irish like the Irish ran at them. But it was almost fighting fire with fire. The Springboks had a 7-1 split and they barely used it. They not barely used it. They used it in drips and drabs. They brought the guys on, but they didn't have the impact that they could have had. And they didn't use the set piece like they should have. And I don't know if that was just because of a confidence around throwing in, but you had Bongi on for the first half. So, look, I don't want to go too much into that game, but what I can tell you is I think a Pollard's going to bring a better mix in decision-making on when to play for the corners, to put that set-piece pressure onto the opposing side versus deciding to, run it. But now the difference is Pollard is allowed to run the ball a lot more. Where before he was expected to be deeper in the pocket, kind of play a different type of game. So I think we're going to all be blown away by what Pollard will do in that first half. And you'll see that he will be just as good distributor as Manie Libbok. This guy is world class. He was the best paid rugby player a year or two ago, in club leagues overall. Why do you think that the world will pay this type of money for, a guy like this? We've just brought back one of the most quality players ever. And there shouldn't be no debate if both these guys are going forwards are going to have a big influence in the game. We know even a Mornay Steyn in the British and Irish Lions, just the times that he came on and the influence he had on the game. So if the coaching team, which I expect them to do, will play in the quarterfinals Amani first and then Pollard, that's also fine, because that means Pollard is there to close out the game for the Springboks. So a lot of confidence I'm going in. I think we can all go up into this game against Tonga with our heads up and say we're gonna be okay. And to say if this quarters come, it's going to be a different story this time around, because we've got a better mix of players in that back line and kickers to kick to post. So that's going to be great. Anyway, let's have a look at the lineup, and I'll give some of my comments around the lineup and what I think. So guys, what you can see there is I think I've had it quite close in my last video I made about who I thought would be on. Nche, they're starting with Nche. They're starting with Dion Fourie. You know, like we thought, that's the right call, starting with Vincent Koch. But like what I like there is a Fourie starting in this game. And then Che has proven himself. They want to see what he does from the start. Giving Marvin Orie a run again, no issues. Marvin Orie's been really good. You've got to keep him in the mix. You've got to keep him fit, because you never know what can happen due to injuries. Etsabev there, loads of experience, because Etsabev was out with injury, giving him more game time. Still Sia Kulisi there. Sia wants to keep playing. He wants to stay fit. He keeps wanting to rehabilitate that leg. And then you've got Dwayne Vermeulen there. I mean, outstanding for the Springboks to decide to kind of kick Dwayne in and Visa. I don't mind that. I honestly don't. And Dwayne Vermeulen any day can play 7. We've seen him very involved as a coach almost in this team, and I think he's going to be maybe in the future stepping into a coaching role if Springbok Rugby allows that. Kobus Reinach, say no more. This guy deserves getting a start with Andre Pollard, and clearly they want to start getting Reinach and Pollard to be that second combination. And I can already see what the Springboks are going to do. They're going to play Amani and Faf as you're starting to, and then they're going to look second half for a Kobus Reinach and a Pollard to come on as your combination for the second half. And then going down there, doing exactly what they've done and what I thought they'd do, going for that so-called second side or B side, which is not a B side in my opinion. Makazolo Mapimpi, he's only been good at this World Cup. Andre Estreisen and Kainan Moody, I thought that's what they'll do. They stick to that. Kainan Moody now, specialized center, that's where they see him. They've obviously had that discussion. That's what he's going to do. And they're kind of looking again, using Grant Williams there on the wing. And Grant Williams can easily be a wing. I mean, look at the tries that he has scored there on wing already. It was a beautiful try. And, you know, and then Willie Leroux on fullback. Guys, this is a good team. And then looking at the bench, you know, Marco van Staren coming from the bench, Kitshoff, Trevor Naikane, Franco Mostert. Say no more about these guys. Kwaha Smith, man, come on. And then Jaden Hendricks also getting some game time. So, you know, they saying second half, giving Jaden some game time here. I think you won't see much more than after this game unless there's an injury. But again, thinking let's keep these guys all fit and give them game time. So if someone gets injured, you know, Jaden Hendricks will have to slot right into a Faf or a Kobus Reinach role, which will be probably getting more game time in the future. And then obviously also looking there, we've got Jesse Creel, which will always be in the mix, and Mani Libbok. So wanting to give Mani that option second half to come on and kick and take some pressure off, but build his confidence. It's clearly what they're looking to do here, to give him some chances to get some balls through. And Jesse Creel in the mix again, which is interesting. They could have gone for anyone. They could have gone for Willemse or Jesse, but deciding on Jesse, resting someone like a Willemse. And guys, this is a really, really, really good team. Don't underestimate this team. They're going up against Tonga. And in my opinion, I think Tonga is going to struggle, man. Tonga will maybe be competitive for the first, say, 20 minutes. 25 pushing it. But already then, I think the Springboks would have scored a try or two in the back line if they just keep playing the way they have played so far. And second half, I see this game opening up. I see a 40-point plus win. And this is important, guys, because if we go look at the pools, don't underestimate this. The Springboks can still fall out of this World Cup. So they're going to go in here and treat this game. I can tell you now there's going to be a serious intensity from the Springboks when they run up for this game versus Tonga. Because they're going to want to push out that score aggregate. So this where Ireland's on a plus 122. They're going to want to push that up. You know, Ireland and Scotland has had so many clashes now. I'm not saying Scotland can beat Ireland any day. Ireland's looking in outstanding form. But let's say just in this game, there's this possibility where just on the day Scotland gets to beat Ireland, and you know these guys know each other very well from Six Nations. They on any given day they can beat each other. So just say that happens. The Springboks want to make sure that they've got a higher aggregate, score aggregate, try and get it higher than Ireland. Definitely make sure it's a lot higher than Scotland. That's going to be very important, and then get your bonus points, which I don't think the Springboks won't get in this game. So it's going to be important for the Springboks to score a lot and you know, smash Tonga really with a really good performance. I'm not taking anything away from Tonga. It's a good team, but they've had a few cards. I just don't see these guys in discipline and everything getting through this game without a big score being put onto them. Guys, that's all I can say with this game. Is I really think that the Springboks are just moving, making the right changes and going in the right direction. Jock Ninoba and Rassie knows what they're doing. I've been frustrated with them for their hard-headedness around, you know, just not looking at having a specialized kicker there. It's our saving grace. Andre Pollard's back in the mix. You know, as long as that guy's not injured, he's going to have a huge influence in this World Cup, and that might be the make or break. And the Springboks, you know, going a lot further in this World Cup. We know when it comes to that final, anything can happen between Ireland and the Springboks. But, I mean, definitely the Springboks and the Irish still look the strongest to me. I've got to tell you, don't underestimate the All Blacks. They're silently coming up. They've picked a very good team for their game against Italy, and they're already building to get that momentum. They'll probably play exactly the same team in that quarters against the Irish. Don't underestimate them. It's another grudge match. So they would have played a grudge match against the Springboks, having lost, or against Ireland. It's both grudge matches. Don't underestimate the All Blacks. Then from a French point of view, you know, you got to see, kind of desperate if you think they want the Pont to go out there with a mask when the guy's got a broken cheekbone. I'm not saying the Pont can't have a big influence on the game, but man, I mean, why do they need him so? They are definitely concerned with the Springboks and what the Springboks are going to bring. Then guys, you're going to hear all kinds of opinions in the comment section, but the Irish have still got some tough games ahead, and they could slip any of these. You know, they haven't lost one. It's still tough games, man. Their challenge is going to be that quarters versus the All Blacks, and you know, Joe Schmidt's in that team. So yeah, anything could happen in those quarters there. Anything could happen in rugby. So what am I talking? I'm just talking in circles here. It's like a dog chasing its tail, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button, and I'm going to catch you in the next one. Please, only if you subscribe will your videos come up. There's a lot of content creators out there. If you kind of like me a little bit, you know, and you want to see my stuff in the future, you got to subscribe. This is the first step. Then I still have to compete with all the other YouTubers that's out there. I'm new. I've been around for 3 months now, and I believe this channel will just keep growing. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you next one. Bye.